Good morning and welcome to the Wake.Show. Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing this morning? Off to a good start, a good coffee start.
Bring your levels down.
We're a little hot.
Yeah.
Check, test, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, test, 1, 2, 1, 2. I got a new microphone here. It sounds great.
Sounds awesome.
Check, test, 1, 2.
Sounds like a fresh head of lettuce.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, these are great microphones. These RA27s.
Yeah.
I think they are, if they're still called that. And I have an old, or RE27s. And, that's the microphone I've been using here, except the one that I was using is at least 10 years old, if not 20. And if not older than that. And look at yours, too. Look at the top of yours. I have a feeling it looks all cruddy. Like if you look down just in the very top, right, where you speak into it, I think it looks kind of cruddy, I would imagine. I don't mind it. But this thing, yesterday, Cord's got a new one. This is brand new. There's no spit in it, no crud.
Yeah.
We better get what do they call that thing? As I'm sitting here going, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wake.Show.
Drinking your coffee.
If it's your first time tuning in, this is how we do the show all morning long.
Spitting up your coffee all over the microphone.
Let's get started. Before we get to stuff you should know, it is Christmas week, really. So what do you think about doing a little Christmas song?
Of course.
A little Nat King Cole.
Am I going to get a little reverb?
All right, we'll get the old
Got to do the reverb.
Reverb function.
Just a little bit.
Function there. All right, let's do that. Load next.
A little tighter.
What do you mean file not found? I just pulled it up a second ago.
Oh, no.
Hold, please. I've got multiple versions. I just pulled it up. Where'd you go? Christmas song?
I got a black screen for some reason behind you. So.
Oh, this makes all the sense in the world. All right.
Are you mirroring your display?
I am not mirroring my display.
Okay.
That is, it's the, hold on. What am I doing here? All right. Well, good. What the hell?
Oh, boy.
Let's try this again. Things that, and this is so frustrating. Like inside, I'm stabbing myself in my own eyes. Because literally 5 minutes ago, I double-clicked just to make sure that it was there. And it was. And then all of a sudden you double-click, file not found. And it makes zero sense whatsoever. And then I'm sitting here going, okay, you're just old, and technology's just gotten too fast, and something updated, something evolved within the last 5 minutes, and I can't keep up. All right, let's get to stuff you should know and see if we can come back to that here in a second, okay?
Yep.
Stuff you should know today. The Boeing company is moving ahead on $300 million in charitable contributions and workplace investments as a response to the tax bill approved by Congress yesterday. The commitments were well timed to demonstrate how the bill's cut in the corporate tax rate could encourage businesses to open their wallets wider. We'll come back to this story with some more details here in a little bit. There's also another story that's similar to this as well, where corporations have come forward and said, thank you so much for this tax bill. This is the way it should look. Now look what we're doing. We're giving back so much. See, just like that. It seems suspect to me, Johnny. They were ready to go with this, hey, look how charitable we're being now as soon as this thing passes. Because they've spent tens of millions of dollars, if not more, on lobbyists to make sure that they got into the tax bill what they wanted to get into the tax bill.
Sure.
I'm no expert, just reading as much as you possibly can on what is in this thing. It does seem to favor the corporations, and so they're very happy, and they help write this damn bill.
Yeah.
So it seemed a little contrived.
Well, but you've got to imagine that from Trump's perspective, if you stimulate business growth, you're going to stimulate the overall economy. And so
that's the thought. That's the theory.
Well, and what we're seeing already, again, like these guys know that they're going to benefit from this tax plan, and that they're wanting to show that in good faith that
We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this. Second report in 2 days produced evidence Wednesday that Senator Jack Latvala may have used his stature as one of the most powerful men in the state to grope women, make insensitive and shaming remarks about their bodies, and trade intimate physical contact for their legislative requests. He resigned less than an hour after the report was released, saying it it was his inability to face his anonymous accusers that led to his decision to resign. Quote, "I have had enough," he said. "If this is the process of our party and Senate leadership desires, then I have no interest in continuing to serve with you," unquote. The Rays have said so long to Longo. The greatest player in franchise history was traded Wednesday to the San Francisco Giants. We'll go over some of those details coming up on the Wake.Show this morning as well. And a Wisconsin man who sent an anti-government manifesto to President Trump and confessed to stealing a huge cache of firearms was sentenced to 14 years in federal prison on Wednesday, but not before he cursed out the judge and threatened to commit even more crimes. Joseph Jakubowski, 33, had asked U.S. District Judge William Connolly either to free him or give him the death penalty. "Either let me go or just kill me." In court Wednesday, he said in a profanity-laced back and forth with the judge that he rejected rules and law. Quote, "I don't care about your damn laws. F the laws, F the rules, and F you too." And that is stuff you should know for today.
All right. That's a great line.
F the law, F the rules, and F you too. Let's get back to my the Christmas song here. Let's see if we can get this up. And if not, we're just moving. There we go. You see it now?
Just see the orange screen. Is that it?
Oh, yeah. That's just the beginning. The orange screen is... and it just froze. Wait, there's no... I guess the universe doesn't want us singing any songs this morning, my man. No, you know how you rectify this? You close out the damn program and open it back up.
That's right.
That's how...
Works every time.
Yep. Well, it works a lot.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah. So what'd you do last night? You didn't come out to karaoke.
I didn't, man. It sucks. But I had family in town. I had family in from Columbia.
Oh, nice.
I don't mean South Carolina.
No. Put your headphones back on.
Hold on.
Here we go.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Sounds nice.
Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly.
This is one of my favorites.
And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
Well done, Mr. Torres.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome out to the Bake More Pies Lounge. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves tonight. All right, enough of that reverb. So what were you doing last night, you said?
Not just decided to show the family around town. Took them to World of Beer for a late lunch, and then we
World of Beer for lunch.
Yeah, it was for a late lunch. That was, again, for them. You know, that's it's American food. It's like, and so they have good stuff there, and it's close by, and very different from the kind of restaurants that you see and get to experience in Columbia. And then took them around downtown a little bit. University of Tampa. Took them to see the plant building there, the hotel, the Tampa Bay Hotel.
Okay.
What else? Took a little quick trip up and down Bayshore. So yeah, just gave them kind of the nickel tour.
Do you have the same nickel tour every time there's a new family member, people that come into town?
More or less. I actually wanted to bring them to downtown St. Pete last night, but they wanted to get back a little early because they're trying to do the theme park thing, so they wanted to make sure they got a good night's rest. But yeah, I actually put, like, University of Tampa is like one of those places I love to show off. I take them down there to the main building. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. And, people really get a kick out of the history behind it. And so that's always a good time.
I couldn't believe it. The last week, the only thing I could think of, or the first, well, really, it was the only thing I could think of, was Ferg's. I've got family in from Rochester, and especially my aunt. She would love to find those little cool places in each town that she goes into, right?
Sure.
So she tracks down, Tripp's Diner. It's a staple in St. Pete, one of those little gems that's been around forever. Great food, inexpensive, one of those things. So she finds that. I'm like, oh yeah, good job, well done. I forgot about that place. So the next day she goes, you want to meet up again? Your uncle's now in town. I was like, sure, of course. Well, you pick a place downtown St. Pete. Well, downtown St. Pete is thriving. Yeah. I mean, there is restaurant,
tons of places,
tons of restaurant after restaurant after restaurant. All these cool new ones
Bars.
Ones that have been around for a couple years and have have gotten great reputations. And the only thing I can think of was Ferg's.
Oh my God!
But it also, I was driving because if I would have pulled out my my map, my phone, I could scroll through. Oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, the avenue, or yeah, whatever, this or that. So I justified it like this. They're in town, and Ferg's is still a staple. It's
a unique place. I would say it's probably the flagship sports bar of Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, and it has this great history to it. It started off as this little gas station when Ferg bought it. And he bought it with the hopes that baseball would come one day. And then he's added to this thing over the years. It's like this great patchwork, sports bar, has, the great character. And so I just justified it. Well, like, listen, man, if you're ever watching the Rays on TV, we're never watching the Rays on TV. Screw you. We're not going to watch your stinking baseball team. Then you're sitting right here. This is where everybody comes beforehand. Have you ever been there opening day? Have you ever been down there?
No.
That is something that I think everybody, any sports fan, or if you're just a fan of crowds, okay, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. Then you have to experience it because I don't know how many 20,000 people that'll be packed right there on the street and all around Ferg's, and the energy. There's been years where I've had tickets to get into the game opening day, and I spent half the game at Ferg's, got into, and this is one particular year, got into the Trop. Never made it to my seat.
Oh wow!
Because opening day is just such a party.
Yeah,
and never made it to my seat one year. But anyway, all right, we got some stuff to talk about today. We also have some guests coming on the show today, right, sir?
Yeah, downstairs we got some
guests we forgot about.
Lovely ladies preparing. Kind of, sort of. They were in my calendar, but I forgot to tell you, and I forgot to put it in the show calendar, and
All right, so when you got here this morning and all those cars were in the parking lot, you weren't surprised. You knew who they were.
No, I was surprised.
Okay.
So,
all right, so who is it that's coming in today?
All right, so we have three lovely ladies with us downstairs. Jen Bischoff, who is an amazing photographer. She's going to be joining us, hanging out with us. And then we also have...
She's showing off any pieces?
We might be able to pull some stuff up through the website of the project that they're here to talk about. And with her is makeup artist Gypsy Freeman. And Gypsy, also amazingly talented, and part of this project that we're developing here, Bake More Pies, and I don't want to give too much away, but we'll have them joining us here shortly.
Cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about this tax plan. We're not going to talk about the tax plan itself because I don't know anything. You read some headlines and you tune into some TV and radio, and this tax plan is does nothing to help out the average man. It's gonna tax breaks for the rich and the wealthy.
Yeah, but see, that's not necessarily true. And this is where the Democrats have really been at a loss. If you really listen to and pick apart what they're saying, you kind of brush aside the talking points. The truth of the matter is that just about everybody, especially in the middle class, is going to save something. Now, people, of course, are going to complain, oh, I'm only getting $2,000 back. Or, well, shit, that's $2,000 that you didn't have.
Right.
And
I'll take it. I'll take your $2,000.
Sure, yeah. And it's like, oh, well, that's only like $30 a day. It's like,
is that your Democrat voice?
Yeah, that's my Democrat voice. So, anyways, it's one of these things where, we're seeing these companies like just jump for joy. They're giving away. They're throwing money off the rooftops.
Right. Well, that's what concerns me.
But where does the money go? It goes to the people. It goes to the employees.
Right.
It's gonna allow them to expand on investment, research and development. It's going to help them give raises. I mean, 3 major companies came out yesterday saying that they're going to give their employees raises, or they're going to hire more people in the tunes of millions and billions of dollars.
So let's talk about that right now, because as far as the tax plan goes, like I said, and then you tune into other radio stations and cable news and so on, and they're saying that this is a good tax bill that's good for America. So, I mean, I really can't break that kind of stuff down. It's way above my pay grade. And I have a feeling even those people who are on television, who are the pundits, who allegedly know everything, don't know everything either.
No, of course not.
However, like Johnny was just saying, some corporations, after this thing was passed, they came out and jumping for joy and saying, this is such a good thing. Watch what we're going to do. We're going to give back $300 million like that.
Yeah.
So Boeing Company moving ahead on $300 million in charitable contributions and workplace investments as a response to the tax bill that Congress passed yesterday. The commitments were laid out in an announcement by their chair, president, and CEO. They're well-timed to demonstrate how the bill's cut in corporate tax rate could encourage businesses to open their wallets wider. Quote, on behalf of our stakeholders, we applaud and thank Congress and the administration for their leadership in seizing this opportunity to unleash economic energy in the United States. It's the single most important thing we can do to drive innovation, support quality jobs, and accelerate capital investment in our country. So, where's that $300 million going? Here we go. $100 million for corporate giving, with funds used to support demand for employee gift match programs and for investments in Boeing's focus areas for charitable giving, which is education, community development, and veterans and military personnel. So that's $100 just basically going to charity. $100 million. Here you go. Boom. Another $100 million for workforce development in the form of training, education, and other capabilities development to meet the scale needed for rapidly evolving technologies and expanding markets. So they're going to do $100 million is going to charity. $100 million is going into training, because the times are changing.
Yep.
And these workers, what they were doing when they first started in this industry is not what they'll be doing 5 years from now. So $100 million for education and training.
Well, and that's a big issue. For the reasons you just said, retraining is incredibly important, especially for the upper demographic of a lot of these companies.
And then $100 million for workplace of the future facilities and infrastructure enhancements for Boeing employees. So as they're spending $100 million for education and training for their employees, they're also spending $100 million on facilities that aren't going to need employees. On smart facilities that's only going to need one employee. Quote, each of these investment benefits Boeing's most important strength, our employees, and reflects the real-time impact and economic benefit of the reforms. Hey, man, if say you've been working here at Bake More Pies for the last 20 years.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden things went south, but they said they were going to pay for you to take some classes. They were going to pay for you to, if you wanted to go to vocational school, school for a couple of years,
Sure.
to get some training. They felt bad that things went south. They want to make sure that you're, what would you spend that scholarship on?
Well, Cords is already a big believer in continuing education. I mean, you even talked about doing the Dale Carnegie class. That's something I did. It's a business development course to make us better at our jobs, not only internally, but also externally in terms of trying to generate new business. I think if I were to get some sort of scholarship to learn maybe a new skill set, I would probably keep it somewhat in the wheelhouse of what I already do, as an expansion of a skill set that I already have. And so I would say probably graphic design or video production, some sort of formal technical training like that, or coding. Like there's a couple of cool ideas that I have for apps, for mobile apps. I think that's just going to be a continuation of where things are going.
Can you tell us loosely what the idea is? You'd rather not.
Yeah, I mean, as Gary Vaynerchuk says, ideas are worthless. Execution is everything.
Okay.
So the idea is, remember as a kid growing up, you had like the gold star system or a smiley face system and that sort of thing. And then based on that, it sometimes determined your allowance.
Okay.
Or you would get paid per number of chores and that sort of thing. So there was some sort of point system in the house. So this basically takes that idea of the old poster board up in the house with the point system and brings it to the mobile phone, because again, kids nowadays have mobile devices, and so the point system is not only tied to rewards that you get from your parents, but the monetization aspect would be to tie that point system to merchants, so like Toys R Us, Amazon, things like that. And so based on the points that you earn that your parents give you, the parents then get discounts to purchase those items through an online merchant.
At first, I was like, this is a cute idea. And then once you tied it into Toys R Us, it changed everything.
Oh, dude, you got to monetize it, man.
Yeah, you could have things in there where as soon as my kid reaches 50 stars, they hit this button and they have access to these. It's kind of like when you're at a company for 10 years.
Yep.
And they give you the little booklet because you can go in and pick whether you want a watch or a watch. It's pretty much what you get. And so the same kind of thing. So that would unlock, here are the things now available to you because you've reached 50 stars or something like that. Yeah, you shouldn't have said that one out loud.
Well, and
That's genius.
Well, and so there's also a lot of promotional tie-ins, right? And so, for instance, like Disney, right, just put out the movie Coco. Well, they can put promotional things that they can give these kids if they hit their goals. As like avatars and stickers and different things like that get built into the app. Or you can the back end of the app, the design of the app can be themed, maybe to a certain movie or to a certain promotional tie-in. So I think there's a lot of cool opportunities there. And
Yeah. Again, you should have held on to that one. I'm sorry for making you say that one out loud. It's a great idea.
If anyone steals it, I'm suing.
Well, we got another story that's similar to the one we just did, where Boeing is announced that $300 million and where it's going. Well, Comcast, after this bill was passed, the tax bill, announced $1,000 bonuses after passage of this bill. It'll give $1,000 to over 100,000 of its employees as a result of the passage of tax cut legislation in Congress, as well as the SEC's repeal of net neutrality. Based on the passage of tax reform, the FCC's action on broadband, we're going to be rich, mother effers. Rich. Oh, wait, that's not the quote. So all you guys, we'll give you all $1,000, and we're still going to be rich. Roberts also announced that Comcast would invest over $50 billion over the next 5 years in infrastructure towards its broadband plant and capacity and our television, film, and theme park offerings. So the upper echelons in corporate America, very happy with what happened yesterday. We'll see how that affects everybody over, in the coming
well, and
years.
I was just barraging you last night with these kinds of stories because Boeing is obviously one of the bigger ones, but the other one, the two that blew me away are the AT&T bonuses. So AT&T is going to give $1,000 bonuses to 200,000 employees. So that's what is it? $200 million?
Yeah.
And bonuses. So imagine the injection to the economy of $200 million. And that's what's about to happen. And that's going right to the employees. So it's not like it's an investment and it's not like they're going to spend it on this or that like Boeing did. This is going right to the employees. And then Comcast also announcing $1,000 bonuses to their employees. So that's company number 3. And then Fifth Third Bank also announcing a bonus program, a bonus They I'm sorry, no, the Fifth Third Bank announced minimum wage hikes, and so they saw employees except for senior management will get also $1,000 by the end of the year. So, I mean, this is an incredible injection of money into the economy that's going to go directly to the employees, go directly to middle income families, and look, don't get me wrong, I see it for what it is. I mean, they don't just magically all come up with the same number. There's this group of CEOs that have been meeting with Trump throughout the year, and I think they all got on the same page and said, hey, this sounds like a good idea. This is something that we can commit to as a company if the tax bill passes, and sure enough, here it is.
Let's talk. Yesterday morning we were talking about how my wife and I were in the middle of a scam. Before, we caught it before it bit us in the ass. I'm very curious to see if this check's going to show up. I doubt it is. But I was talking with her, yesterday, and she pointed out something. She goes, "You probably should have brought up the stories like Snopes and the other stories that we had read about the scam to share with the people." And this is a scam concerning cashier check overpayment scam. Scammers pay with cashier's checks larger than the purchase price and ask that the balances be sent to third parties is what you're looking out for here. So for those of you that are online selling stuff and somebody's like, oh my gosh, I love that thing, which is exactly what happened to us. That's how the scam goes. It's like, and then they come up with a reason why they want to give you more money than you actually want for it. And for us, she was saying that movers will be coming by to get it, and she has to pay the movers. Well, it was in excess of $2,000. That's a lot of money to pay, some movers for a couch. And so the person on the other end, in broken English, was texting that it's because the movers are picking up multiple pieces, to drive back to South Dakota or something ridiculous like that. And so this is what happens. You all of a sudden they're sending you a cashier's check. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to send you something, it's only $250. I'm going to send you something for $2,000. And then you'll use the rest to pay these people, or use the rest, right? Now, the way that they hooked us even more is they gave us not only a full price offer for what we wanted, but they put $40 on top if we were to hold it. Of course, that makes my wife that much more excited. She's going to make more money than she thought. And so she's more likely to, go down this path with these people.
Yeah.
But then what happens is the movers never come. What is going to happen is that these people will contact you after you've deposited that cashier's check and say, oh shoot, well, I can't have that right now. I can't do that. And I'm sorry for your trouble. Why don't you go ahead and just keep the money? I don't even need the item. Why don't you just go ahead and keep that cash? And you're like, oh wow, I can't even believe. And just, if you can do me a favor, the stuff that's left, just wire it back to me. Oh, no problem. I get to keep $400. And, wire the other $2,000 back to you. You got it. No problem whatsoever. And what happens is that I guess they then recall that check, or that check's no good, which I still don't understand that part, because I don't know how. I thought that once you got a cashier's check, once you got a money order, that is good as gold. That's as good. Well, cash isn't even as good as gold.
Well, I mean, you could put a stop payment on a check.
I guess so. I guess that's what they end up doing. As soon as you go through that process, they put a stop pay, whatever it is. So long story longer, you'll end up with, a few days later, you'll get a notice from your bank saying, hey, that check was no good. And now you realize that you didn't give them their money back to them. You gave your money to them. And you end up being screwed. So that was, if you want to look that up, the cashier's check overpayment scam. So this comes in a lot of different forms. I shared with you what happened to us, but just keep it. You don't have to worry about the details. Just if you're having any kind of dealings and somebody goes, hey, I got to use a cashier's check, be wary. All right. Right there. That's a red flag. Then if they come over the top and say, oh, it's going to be more than what you actually want, it's a scam. Don't even get sucked down that path.
Real quick, just wanted to check in with everybody watching. Thank you so much. And if you don't mind, drop us a little good morning. Drop us a little note. Say hello. Let us know you're watching so we can say hi to you. Good morning to Lisa Kraft. Elliot, who's very excited because he won our Gasparilla Music Festival tickets. Also, Emily, loving my USF hat. What up, Emily? Go Bulls. Also, my buddy Anibal chiming in on the bonuses that are coming out after the tax bill. Also, turns out Elliot's kid was singing along with us to the Christmas song. So good morning to Elliot and his son, and thanks for singing along.
I'm going to do a little acoustic number for you, a little a cappella number for you now. I'm dreaming of a white Blue Christmas. I'm going with Blue Christmas on this.
I know. I was going to say
Elvis.
It's Elvis singing Bing Crosby. Is that what we got going on?
Man, did you see this Apple iPhone story?
Yes.
You're the one that sent it to me, right?
Yes.
This makes me want to cuss. This makes me want to swear into a microphone. Apple intentionally slows down iPhones as they get older. Screw you, Apple. I don't know how many times I heard people say this as a conspiracy theory, one that I've dismissed, chalking it up to operating system updates and more demanding apps. But it turns out it's true, according to TheVerge.com. Apple really is slowing down phones as they age, with usually specifically as their battery gets worn down, apparently as a way to mitigate issues that come with reduced battery life. Evidence was uncovered this week, and Apple admitted to it this afternoon. Those SOB. I knew it. And you feel like you are coming up with a conspiracy. You think that you're just making something up. But I knew it. I feel, because it just seems like it slows down every time the new one's getting ready to come out. Every time there's a new iPhone getting right around the corner, it seems like your phone, that's when it starts to annoy the crap out of you. And so you're going, I got to get a new one. Look,
and I got the battery issue resolved because, I'm a pretty heavy user, and so I wore out my battery earlier this year, and I ended up getting my battery replaced, and it improved the phone for like a little bit. But then with all the updates and everything, it's still got a lot of issues. My text messages crash every time I try to open them, and I have all kinds of phone issues.
Welcome into the studio now, Cords Owen, the owner of Bake More Pies, our partner in this endeavor. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Chris. How are you?
Good. You own this entire building. What do you dress like a homeless person?
We're doing a lot of work today. We've got our holiday happy hour.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. So last night we were here till what time was it, Johnny? Like
9:30.
Yeah, about 9:30. Painting and doing all kinds of things. I've got to hang a light outside. I'm pretty much the president and superintendent
and maintenance guy.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, what's going on this morning?
Well, I was just wondering, is Apple on that list of companies who's giving back all that money to the employees?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
they should. They should be. Aren't they the most valuable company in the world? Or they were?
I think so.
They're up there. I don't know. Maybe they've been surpassed by Amazon now. So what kind of Christmas bonuses are you passing out to the people around here this year?
Actually, I'm writing them today.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You guys we got a bonus there at Events Done Right. We had our Christmas party the other night.
$1 million for everybody.
It wasn't quite. Hey, it was. Hey, listen. It every little bit helps. And
absolutely.
It was a good chunk of chew. I was happy. Anyway, do you give yourself a bonus?
I do not.
No.
No, I don't. I don't pay myself a commission. I don't give myself a bonus.
No.
No, all that goes back to the employees.
You're a good man. You're a good owner. So what else? What else you want to talk about today?
I don't know. I got a text last night. From Chris Fisher talking about people recognizing him in his show.
Last night out at Parkin. Well, people are coming up to me at every gig now, unsolicited, and talking to me about what we're doing here. Because listen, I know that we're all very excited behind the scenes what our numbers are, look like every single day and how they're growing. But we also know that that's all well and good here in the beginning, but those numbers need to be, much bigger. So in my head, I'm not. Well, you can't feel it when you're in it. You can't sense it when you're in it. But I'm out 3 nights a week. And now every single night that I'm out, there's at least one person that's coming up to me, talking to me about the show and give me their opinion. What, they like this part, they like that part and whatever. And it's not people that I know. It's not like just, people I've known for years or anything like that. These are people that I've gotten to know throughout my my karaoke nights, trivia nights, and stuff like that. But I really don't know them. Yeah. It's not like that. They've been following me for years or anything like that. And so it's just kind of cool. It has that feeling. It has that feeling of something special. And
special.
I don't want I don't want to put this over too much, but it just is starting to have that feeling of something special. I've been a part of a lot of new radio stations and upstarts and stuff like that, and it's got that feel.
Well, what did Gary Vaynerchuk say again, dear Johnny?
Ideas are crap and execution is everything.
Execution is everything. We're executing.
That's right.
That's what happens. Wait till we unveil the secret weapon.
Oh, I know. And I love that, too. We're not even close to being where we're going to be with the show.
Well, and that's the thing. Cords and I have been fortunate to do things like this a number of times to where you kind of know before you know. Right? Even before you get that feeling about, man, this is something really, just the concept and the development of it, and even the early execution of it, you already know you're on because you've seen it work before.
Well, I hope so, man. Well, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate your hard work.
You're very
showing up every day.
Oh, well, every day except for last Thursday.
Well, it happened.
And it was hard this morning, too. My alarm went off. This is what I did this morning. My alarm went off. I got dressed, brushed my teeth, and then normally I go out and open up the computer and start going through, putting together stuff you should know. I laid down on the couch and reset my alarm for 6. I'm like, I'll throw stuff you should know together at the last second when I get in there. Yeah. Thursday morning's going to be rough. I prepped all night long. As soon as I got home at 1 o'clock in the morning, I just stayed up and just kept prepping until it was time to get in here. All right, sir. Thank you for stopping by the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want me to, Johnny? You want me to downstairs? I see the beautiful ladies down there doing the editorial makeup. Do you want me to get a camera on them?
So day 2 of lack of communication here in the Wake.Show because we do need a camera downstairs, and then actually we need Jen upstairs so she can hang out with us, talk to us. And then we'll get into the Beauty Matrix, which is another fun project, a Bake More Pies production that we're working on that I think a lot of people get excited about.
Yeah. Yesterday morning, Cords gets here, and we got a couple of artists.
Send him the link to the Vimeo, the sizzle reel.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll do that right now.
Yesterday, Cords comes in and doesn't know that we have a musical guest coming by, and so he walks in and is having to put together the studio downstairs for the musical guest. Today, he comes in, like, who the hell are these people in my studio? And we have more guests this morning so I have a feeling, Johnny, you and I are going to have a meeting with the boss after. Guys.
At least this time, it's 3 beautiful women, and he already knows them. So,
guys, really like what you're doing on the show. But if maybe you could send me an email a couple days in advance and let me know if people are going to be in my studios and I need to set up equipment for them.
All right. Well, thank you guys both for everything you do. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So back to this iPhone thing. There's some good reason for Apple to do this, according to The Verge. By their nature, lithium-ion batteries degrade over time, storing less and less of a charge. This happens very quickly in a device we use 24/7, so it's not a bad idea for Apple to limit speeds on older phones such that they don't push things too far on a depleted battery. That absolutely makes the phone more usable. It apparently helps stop random shutdowns, which are a major pain, and I would think it helps the battery life in general as well. But it also speaks to a really enormous problem with the iPhone. This $700 to $1,000 plus product has designed isn't able to function near its peak after just 1 year of use. And that should be unacceptable. Think about it, man. We spend if you got a deal, you got $500, $700, $1,000, and then within a year, this thing can't do what you bought it to do.
Yeah.
Slowing down the phone is one way to work against aging issues, but there are other, more obvious things Apple could do here. It could put larger batteries on the iPhone in the first place so that they last longer before this kind of adjustment needs to kick in.
Replaceable batteries?
Rather, or Apple could make it easier and cheaper to replace the iPhone's battery. Look at that. You're way ahead of me. Even just making it clear to people that replacing their battery will meaningfully improve their phone could go a long way. It turns out replacing the battery will restore the phone's proper performance again. Apple does offer a battery replacement service for $79, but that requires either taking your phone to an Apple store or mailing it in, which will leave you without a phone for at least a few days and likely more. So what? So good. You take a break. You got 3 days then until you get your phone back. But $79, that's not bad.
No, I've replaced the battery on my phone, but I still think this excuse is complete garbage. I mean,
I agree.
My phone performed a little bit better than it did before the battery, kept dying on me every few minutes, but not significantly. And then, like I said, the updates that came afterwards with iOS 11, and once the iPhone 9 and 10 rolled out, it's just had continuous problems. I mean, it just doesn't work as smoothly and as normally as it should.
Sons of bitches. We knew you were doing it. We knew you were doing it, Apple. Now we finally caught you. You can make sure you leave comments in the comment section. You're also able to stream us now and get this on multiple platforms. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Periscope, and Mixlr. And Mixlr is just the audio feed, if that is better for you. So there's a story about a man who's cleared of rape. And this guy was getting raked over the coals himself. And the effed up thing about this is that the police, the authorities, allegedly hid 40,000 messages from the victim, as they use air quotes, the victim. And these text messages exonerate him.
Yep.
But they sat on him. So now he's suing the shit out of him.
Good.
A man cleared of rape is suing police and prosecutors after they failed to disclose messages that would have proved his innocence. This guy's 22 years old, of southeast London, accused of 12 rapes and sex assaults, said he lived in a terrible limbo as police withheld 40,000 messages from his accuser. He faced up to 20 years in jail if found guilty. But the case against Mr. Allen was dropped after 3 days when the evidence on a computer disk containing 40,000 messages revealed the alleged victim pestered this guy for quote-unquote casual sex. She had 40,000 text messages. I don't know that I've sent 40,000 text messages since the advent of the text message. I wish I had that number. I wonder how many messages because I have a feeling I have not sent 40,000. And I'm sure that I haven't sent 40,000 to one person about casual sex. Mr. Allen, a criminology student, said he has no choice but to sue the police. I agree, buddy. I agree. A judge has called for an inquiry. They're investigating after a new prosecutor found the messages. Talking to the BBC, Mr. Allen said, "University is meant to be the best years of your life. In the last 2 years have been spent worrying and not concentrating on anything. It has completely ripped apart my personal life. I feel relief on one side that the case is over, but now there's the stress of getting compensation in the process of suing. So it's not over completely." This guy is owed. So first, I mean, I don't know how the laws are written in England, but to me, this seems like somebody needs to be going to jail too. And how does this kind of stuff happen? You come across evidence that doesn't support what you need, so you discount it? Doesn't even make sense. All right. The big news coming out of the Bay Area this morning is Evan Longoria. Evan Longoria leaving the Tampa Bay Rays. What a treat it has been watching him play baseball here in the Bay Area. We had a great run. There was like 5, 6, 7 seasons in a row that it was maybe even 10 years in a row that the Tampa Bay Rays were very exciting. Always in the thick of things, almost every year for about a 10-year stretch. But the greatest player in franchise history is now heading to the San Francisco Giants. Let's go over some of those details thanks to the Tampa Bay Times. Let's see. For Longoria and cash considerations, the Rays are getting back Christian Arroyo, originally from Hernando, and a veteran outfielder, Denard Span, also from Tampa, plus Class A right-handed pitcher Stephen Woods and Class A left-handed pitcher Matt Crook. The Rays took advantage of the opportunity to shed his $13.5 million salary in 2018 and the overall $86 million he is guaranteed, with a 2023 option pushing the total to $94 million. Holy God. That's just obnoxious.
That's ridiculous.
I hate doing this. I hate talking sports contracts and those numbers because they're so obnoxious.
They are.
The figures are just so obnoxious.
I think what's going to be fascinating, because I think it's around the corner, is I think there's going to be a collapse of professional athletic salaries.
What's that? I'm sorry?
That I'm saying, I think what's around the corner is the collapse of professional athletic salaries. I think as we see the attendance numbers continue to fall, because it's becoming less and less affordable for the average person to attend professional sporting events, I think you'll start to, at some point, these salaries will begin to collapse because they can't afford to pay these guys these salaries when they're not making the revenue in attendance.
In addition to being one of the key players on the field, Longoria has been involved in numerous charitable causes in the Tampa Bay area, most notably my favorite charity, Pet Pal Animal Shelter. The reading with the Raise program and Great Explorations Children Museum, to which they recently donated $500,000. And he's also, have you been to Ducky's Sports Lounge?
A couple times.
Yeah, I've been there once or twice. A little pricey, if I remember. It's all right.
It's interesting. I mean, it's kind of a cool place. I mean,
it's got that. They have the little that bowling or 10-pin bowl. What do they call that? Small ball bowling or something like that?
Yeah.
Over in the corner?
Right.
That's kind of cool. Longoria joined the race shortly into the 2008 season and agreed then a six-year deal that guaranteed him $17.5 million. And with 3 option years, could be worth $44.5 million over 9 years. He is a 3-time All-Star, was the American League Rookie of the Year in 2008, won the Silver Slugger Award in 2009, has finished in the top 20, the AL MVP voting 6 times. The team record holder in many offensive categories. Longoria is probably most known for his dramatic what a great game. His dramatic 2011 game 162, 12th inning walk-off homer that pushed the Rays into the playoffs and one of the wildest regular season finishes in Major League history. I'm so happy that I was awake and I was watching television to witness that.
Yeah.
I think that is, in my entire life, and I don't know if it'll be topped. As a fan, and I'm not the fanatical fan that I used to be, but as a fan, it was. I remember, man, I was by myself. I was by myself in my house. It wasn't like I had a buddy there, or I was at a sports bar, or I was at the game. And it was just such a crazy year. There was game 160, it came down to 162. There was all these different things playing out in the American League East. And everywhere. I want to say in the National League, they had some similar things going on as well that night. And so this had to happen, and that team had to lose, and this and that, and da-da-da. And it all just came together for the Rays. And what a glorious day. Longoria is coming off a season in which he won his 3rd Gold Glove at third base, but took a step back offensively, hitting .261, 20 homers, 86 RBIs. And so that's that. The Evan Longoria is gone. Let's go ahead. We'll get to stuff you should know here in just a second. Actually, let's go ahead and just knock out stuff you should know right now, and then come back to some stories that we have and a guest. Well, good morning, everybody, first of all. How you doing? Hope things are well. Everybody working a full week this week? You hitting off Friday half day? We're going to be here all week. Make sure you're tuned in, 7 to 9, sharing and liking. We really appreciate that. Stuff you should know. The Boeing Company is moving ahead on $300 million in charitable contributions and workplace investments as a response to the tax bill approved by Congress yesterday. The commitments were well-timed to demonstrate how the bill's cut in the corporate tax rate could encourage businesses to open their wallets, and other businesses did open their wallets. We touched on that a little bit earlier in the show. A second report in 2 days produced evidence Wednesday that Senator Jack Latvala may have used his stature as one of the most powerful men in the state to grope women, make insensitive and shaming remarks about their bodies, and trade intimate physical contact for their legislative requests. He resigned less than an hour after the report was released, saying it was his inability to face his anonymous accusers that led to his decision to resign. "I have had enough," he said. "If this is the process our party and Senate leadership desires, then I have no interest in continuing to serve with you. Good day." The Rays have said goodbye to Evan Longoria, and a Wisconsin man who sent anti-government manifesto to President Trump and confessed to stealing a huge cache of firearms was sentenced to 14 years in federal prison on Wednesday, but not before he cursed out the judge. Joseph Jakubowski, 33, had asked U.S. District Judge William Conley either to free him or kill him. Make him a free man or give him the death penalty. In court Wednesday, he said in a profanity-laced back and forth with the judge that he rejected rules and law. Quote, "I don't care about your damn laws. F the laws, F the rules, and F you too." Unquote. And that is stuff you should know. How are our guests looking downstairs?
It's looking pretty awesome here. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but I'm going to take a quick cut to what's going on down there. We have, again, Jen Bischoff, Gypsy Freeman. Jen's a professional photographer. Gypsy, who you see there on the right, is a professional makeup artist. We're going to do some New Year's looks for the ladies. We're going to get a little crazy with the makeup and also talk about a project that we're developing here at Bake More Pies.
Is she coming in to talk to us right now?
That's her right now.
All right. Come
Hello.
on in.
Rocking rough and stuff with her Afro puffs.
Have Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all, Happy Hanukkah, and all that good stuff. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm swell. Thanks for asking. Tell us a little about yourself.
I'm Jen Bischoff. I'm a local commercial and beauty photographer. I'm probably most well known for my underwater work.
Okay.
But
are you the one that shot the cover of Nirvana's Nevermind? That's not your underwater work?
no, not quite. Not
Okay.
quite.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited to be here. We're going to be talking about a project we're doing with Bake More Pies.
Well, I was hoping you were going to do our makeup this morning. I hope that they were going to do our makeup this morning. But Johnny put the kibosh on that. Yeah. So what makeup are you guys doing downstairs? Are they doing it?
Okay, well, like we were talking before, we're doing a New Year sparkly. We have red going on, though, because it's still before Christmas. So
okay.
We've got some red in there, too. But it's going to be more of an editorial look. Hey, any girls out there that can rock it, but it's definitely for camera ready.
Give me a website or Facebook so I can pull up some of your stuff behind.
Well, you can go to thebeautymatrix.com, right? Or you can go to yours website.
What do you think of beautymatrix.com?
I don't know what's, to be
It's
honest.
up.
I have no clue what's on there right now.
Oh, okay. I thought
haven't
you were taking
seen
a look at it.
Well, I was just
So
gonna
again,
put
this
it up
is in production. This is kind of in
wrong.
development. It's not even in production yet. It's in development. I also sent you the link through Messenger for the what we call a sizzle reel. And so,
well, let's do that then.
But yeah, you can pull up the website, or Jen, if you want to give them your website, we can pull that up too.
There we go. Pop that right behind us. That's your. There we go. How's that?
Yeah, that's us.
That's you.
This is Jen Bishop.
And Gypsy Freeman.
She's a commercial underwater photographer and beauty photographer.
Gypsy's a makeup artist and stylist. She reached out to me through Instagram. I felt like I was an instant friend.
Is that downstairs?
It just clicked
Talked
really
about
easily.
really personal stuff really quickly.
Right out of the bat.
And I think it wasn't even just our personalities that hit off. It's the fact that we have like on the same creative wave. And for all you creatives out there, I know you know like how difficult it is to find someone that you want to actually team up with.
So the concept for the show is
It's starting out as a makeup competition. We're gonna have 3 contestants come in that have applied on Instagram using a hashtag that we'll create for each episode. 3 of you guys will be selected to come in and create 2 looks based on a theme or a product from our sponsor or whatever
That's
it
cool.
is that episode. So you're gonna come in and you're gonna create like a everyday wear, ready to wear look. And then the second one's gonna be much more elaborate and more creative, and we're gonna let you do what you need to do. And it's gonna be more of an editorial take. I'm gonna photograph both of your looks on your models. We will judge each look, and we'll also have a third judge that's gonna be a guest YouTuber or sponsor, depends on the episode. So, and we're leaving a guest judge open, so we can either have our sponsor pick, their creative director or their makeup artist, of course, or YouTubers. Oh yeah, and then after we judge the votes and we vote for what we want to do, we're going to open it up for 24 hours after for you guys, everyone on social media, to vote for your favorite so that you guys help us pick the winner.
So you guys are putting together, or you have put together, a reality television show. Is that what you're doing?
That is exactly what we did for makeup artists.
Okay, and so this is something you guys have already done, executed?
Well, this
or
is
in the process?
Yeah, this was just kind of a promo. Our first episode is going to be recording in January.
It's a teaser.
Congratulations.
Yes. Yeah. But we just wanted to show, we did a clean look first, so we're going to do 2 looks. And every day, what a woman can wear, get 3 makeup artists, their point of view. And then the second look is going to be more creative and more like letting them go wild.
All right. And so the sizzle reel you guys put together, being, that you're a photographer,
Yeah.
is that your concept, or was this all Bake More Pies?
No, Bake More Pies took care of all the behind the scenes. So.
All that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, man, I know I've seen some of the stuff that they do here at Bake More Pies, and I kind of feel bad because Bake More Pies is the engine that is driving the show, the infrastructure of the show, and I've seen a couple of things, but that's really. I feel like you're like, yeah, dude, that's what we do. I'm getting ready to go, man, that's really good. And you're like, yeah, mother effer, that's what we do around here.
Every day, yeah.
I don't know who you thought you were working with, but that's what we do around here.
So it's a little different, obviously, from what we do here on a daily basis, right? This is a little bit more like in the moment, it's live, that sort of thing. This is going to be more like what you see on TV. I mean, our goal is to make this a television program like you would expect to see on Netflix, on Amazon Prime, or Hulu, or even any of your cable TV channels.
Oh, so that could be that's in our future as well, then, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
At some point, because we just this week ended up on multiple platforms: on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Periscope, Twitter.
Oh, wow.
And but yeah, so if things go well for us, we could end up on Amazon Prime or one of those.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Oh, Elliot was at game 162. We were just talking about that a little bit earlier. I see Elliot was at game 162.
Yeah.
That had to be very exciting. I know that went. If I remember correctly, that went late into the night that year. All right, so downstairs you guys are doing a theme, and your theme is New Year's Eve. And you don't need Johnny or myself to,
Well, if you would have volunteered earlier, we would have definitely had you.
Yeah,
because she glued down the model's eyebrows, and I'm sure she would have loved to get a hold of yours.
Oh yeah, I guess some bit. Have you ever done laser hair removal?
I should, but I haven't yet.
You haven't yet? I did that a few years ago because I have a monobrow, a unibrow.
Oh, I was going to ask where, but
Big time.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's Cro-Magnon, or whatever that word is. And if I just so anyway, long story short, they just did the middle here.
Yeah.
And it worked. Yeah, it worked. Except for, I have to get in there and pluck like every now and again, just a couple, but it's nothing like, what it was. Because I used to, oh my God. Johnny, did you ever
get the old, who's the uncle, what's his face from the Addams Family? Is that what you had going on there?
Fester?
Oh,
yeah.
I was more like Cousin It.
Yeah.
It's more what I had going on there.
So you can't see it on your end unless you want to bring the feed up, but I'm cutting over to what's happening downstairs, and Slim is there watching herself on the live broadcast. So hello, good morning, and Gypsy down there doing her work as well. Already pretty amazing stuff that we're seeing here on her face. And so there we go, getting the thumbs up from Slim. What up?
Oh, so they can hear us down there.
Yeah, she's watching the broadcast on her phone while we're up here doing this. So,
all right, let's see here.
So maybe why don't you bring her up, and then Jen can maybe walk us through a little bit of what's happening technically to kind of make this kind of look happen, because really that is what the Beauty Matrix is going to be all about. You see these spreads, these photo sessions, these incredible pictures on magazines and in websites and newspapers, and I think a lot of women out there would really like to learn or know how this gets pulled off.
All right, so go ahead and cut back to them, and she can do a little narrating as well.
All right, hang on. Okay.
Or wait, or because of the lag, you've already cut to them, but because of the lag, we have.
Yeah, we'll cut to it here in a second. And so if you're watching, I've already cut to the downstairs. And again, Slim's our model. I think nobody knows what her real name is.
I don't know her name. I've worked with her so many times, and all I know is Slim.
But Gypsy's down there doing her work.
There they go.
So, do you know anything about the about what they're doing and the technique and the application?
Can I stand up? Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not on
here
right
yeah,
now. We're
great,
on the
fantastic. Yeah, she actually went out and bought some Swarovski crystals. So there's actually red. That's what she's applying right now. She got a stencil and put it against her face, and she used Jeffree Star. It's actually lipstick, a matte 24-hour lipstick that she uses as a paint.
Okay.
So that's what she did. You can see it almost looks like a matrix. Do you like that?
Nice.
So for a beauty matrix. Okay, I'm a nerd. Yeah. So right here is you can see. I wish you could see the other side of her face.
If you can hear us down there, turn your head to the right. Turn to the right.
Yeah, but right now she's just applying on not every dot, but just to give us some more interest. She also right now all she's applied is red, and she airbrushed her face. Like I was saying before, she did glue down her eyebrows just to make them more minimal and not to stand out.
Yeah, it's coming. She turned her head. It's just we got a little bit of a lag.
Oh, there we go.
situation.
Fantastic.
Oh,
See?
wow.
See, there we go.
That is so cool.
Isn't that fun?
Yes, I definitely want that for this is the New Year's look that you guys are going for, right?
And you can't see, but her eyebrows, her eyelashes are actually red as well. That'll show up in the photo.
I mean, think about this. Think about walking into a room with this on. I mean, it's incredible looking. It makes a statement. You come in, everybody notices you. I mean, this is, I think, a big win for people to do on New Year's.
We got dinner at the melting pot. It's going to look a little weird, I think, going into the melting pot early on in the night. They're going to start.
Or if you're spending New Year's Eve with Grandma and Grandpa,
they'll try to clean your face.
Did somebody shoot you in the eye? Get a rag. That really is cool. But to me, I mean, what this kind of application, is this something that is popular this year? Like everybody's doing it, or is this more like if you're a model yourself, you're in that the fashion world, you'll be doing something like this?
I think it is more in fashion, but I do believe that it's coming more, being more creative and just playing more with makeup, as opposed to before. I think makeup was supposed to get you to some unreachable bar that you're supposed to be like, oh, I'm supposed to look like this model or this cover. And let's be honest, I'm not going to ever look like a model.
Right.
But for this, I think it's just to teach us all to be able to play with makeup more and maybe not take ourselves so seriously.
Well, it goes back to, when the 2015 thing came around for Back to the Future, and you're like, oh, we don't dress like that. We don't look like that. But I think this kind of makeup today, more than ever, is perfectly acceptable, especially in a party type setting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Expressing yourself. No, listen, there's all kinds of ways you can express yourself, and this seems like a very safe one.
I mean, you get those Hamburger Mary gigs on Saturday night. I mean,
listen, I've got a gig on New Year's Eve. If you guys were like, hey man, we'll do you up for I'd do it.
Right?
Oh, hell yeah. I don't care. I mean, I don't mean like putting on a wig and some, and a dress. I don't mean do it up that much. It's something that'll go with my, my suit for the night. Well, thank you so much for stopping by here.
Yeah,
now you're going to go back downstairs. You're going to finish this up, and then you are going to have a photo shoot with her.
Downstairs.
Are you guys going to do it right there in the studio, or are you doing it around the premise?
Well, before we let her go, do you want to go ahead and kind of break down at least a broad version of what we're going to do on the show?
Yeah,
sure.
Let's
Go
do
ahead.
that.
Go ahead.
Okay, so like I was saying, we're going to do 2 looks. The first look is going to be a clean look, something that an actual woman would wear to work or out on a date or whatnot, something that you can actually learn something from. And then the second look is going to be a more artistic look that we just let the artist do what they want to do. I photographed both of them, and we'll have 3 judges. Like I was saying, Gypsy and I are each a judge, and then we're going to have a guest judge each episode. And then after that, we open the voting to you guys. So follow us on Instagram. It's at The Beauty Matrix, and you can watch live on YouTube. And
starting in January.
Yeah. Well, January we're filming. We might release at the very beginning of February. We haven't got a release date exactly yet.
Well, then let's have you guys in here right before, the week that this is going to go live, or you guys are going to start your show. The week prior to that, we'll have you guys back in here, and maybe we'll have some fun and get to me and or Johnny made up or something.
Yeah, that would be great. All we're looking for right now is just if you have a creative person in your life or someone that loves to play with makeup, we would love for them to apply to be on the show. So follow us at The Beauty Matrix. That is where you'll find out where you can apply to be on the show. We would love, love, love to have you.
Thank you. We loved having you.
Thank you.
And Slim. And who's the artist?
That's Gypsy Freeman.
And Gypsy. Right?
Yep.
Gypsy, Slim.
Yeah.
Am I right? But nobody knows Nobody knows her
I don't
name.
know her name.
She's only known as Slim. Okay.
I'd have to pull her model release up.
I don't think she's real. Oh, look at those nails. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I was asking her, how do you do anything? Like, mine are fake. Like, mine will be popped off at the end of this show, and they're tiny compared to hers. I'm like, how do you do anything with them? I don't even know.
Well, thank you once again for coming in. It was a pleasure.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's been great.
We will talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. This is the Wake.Show. Make sure you share and like as much as you possibly can. And I know you guys are already doing it. We really appreciate it. And make sure you comment along the way as well. Good morning, Miguel. Nice to talk to you. Or nice to see you on Facebook Live. You can stream this Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Periscope, and Mixler if you just want the audio version.
Yep.
I think the best story from the morning, the best story of the day, is coming from TampaBay.com, coming from Tampa Bay, the Tampa Bay Times.
Okay.
It is. Did you see the story about the anti-massage parlor? Okay, so there's protesters not protesting these Jack Shacks on Kennedy. these massage parlors.
Yeah.
They're protesting the laws that are trying to make it more difficult for those businesses to operate. They are defending those businesses.
Oh, weird.
A small group of activists stood outside City Hall on Wednesday evening and protested a new effort to crack down on massage parlors that offer sexual services. The first reading of the amended ordinance will be at Thursday's City Council meeting, but opponents want to have their say first. Quote, I don't see why we need to add to the criminalization of people in an already socioeconomic disadvantaged situation, says one of the activists, when we know the real problem is with exploitation. Eastman 27 is a member of the Sex Worker Solidarity Network, one of the groups that organized the protest that opposes the city's efforts. City officials want to rework a three... So... If you think when you're reading a protest story about this, it'd be protesting the fact that we have all these Jack Shacks on Kennedy.
Oh, no.
And for those of you that
Not
are
in
not
Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't, you're not from around here, you don't live in the Bay Area, Tampa Bay. Well, I don't know if you have a strip of road in your town that has this, but we have right out here, a road, Kennedy. And on this stretch away over just a couple of miles, you probably have a dozen of these things.
Yeah, and there's some scattered around town too.
Right, and they're not all in Kennedy, but a lot of them are.
And they don't hide either. They're not really, they got the bright neon lights out in the window and the big signs.
So city officials want to rework a 30-year-old ordinance regulating bathhouses to crack down on any illicit sex acts being performed in massage parlors. The city hopes more stringent regulations will make it difficult for massage parlors to operate outside the law and also curb human trafficking. But opponents fear tougher enforcement will do more to harm the women who work in these businesses than the businesses themselves. I hope that's not the case, because a lot of these women that are working in these businesses are part of the sex trafficking ring.
Yeah.
Or they're paying off some debt they got out of wherever they came from. And they think they're paying off some debt anyway, and so they're in there going, get your back, get your and out you go. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, and then they're done. I have heard though, a buddy of mine. I'm not going to sell him out, but a buddy of mine, years ago, single man, was out in Vegas, and he came back and said, you know what, I tried it. I tried it. And he said he did say that he was pretty amazed. She called it the tiger claw or the something along those lines. But he said that he could not believe how let's put it this way, proficient they were. Now once they got to that part, he said it was very quick, a little and things were done.
Oh boy,
great story, Fish. Thanks. I'm trying to eat some cereal. You're talking about your friend getting a handy in Vegas. Let's get back to Kennedy.
All right, and for those of you watching, up on the top left, we put a little look down to our studio where the Beauty Matrix is still at work on this New Year's Eve look. What I would tell Gypsy and Slim, if possible, is to turn that chair maybe towards the camera so we can see more of her face. But I think it's going to be cool. Jen getting to work there now that she's downstairs, going to be snapping some pictures. And with Jen's permission, of course, we'll go ahead and post those pictures on our Facebook page after the show.
So back to the sex workers here in Tampa. So this woman also belongs to a faction of those opposing the ordinance who favor decriminalizing sex work. They don't believe performing a sex act for payment should be a crime in the first place. They argue the city will end up jailing women who choose to be sex workers.
Look, my issue is the same as the one you just made, which is that this type of business lends itself to sex trafficking, human trafficking, that sort of thing. It's actually something that a good friend of mine, Ross Spano, who's going to be running for Attorney General, has advocated against the entire time he's been in the legislature. He's worked very closely with Attorney General Pam Bondi on this, and Tampa is ripe for this sort of activity. And I think oftentimes that's exactly what you have. You have women who are trying to get into this country, trying to seek freedom, trying to seek opportunity, and they are preyed upon by businesses like this.
Hillsborough County Commission candidate Jay Passmore, 27, says she doesn't think the city's intent was malicious, but she said this effort could still potentially harm sex workers. Quote, "We're all behind stopping sex trafficking, right?" she said into a mic as a group of activists nodded behind her. Quote, "Everyone can get behind stopping sex trafficking. Oh, awesome idea. But when you get into the meat and the potatoes, how can you go forward in good faith?" Hillsborough Community Protection Coalition member Pamela Gomez, 27, held a sign that said, "Decolonize Kennedy." She said any effort, enforcement effort that targets Asian-owned and run businesses are racist. You're saying you going after these businesses are racist by nature. Yes, you see people of color starting small businesses in predominantly white areas, and then they try to kick us out, she said. Come the F on. Settle down. That is not what's happening. This is a direct targeting and profiling of those communities without investigation or talking to those workers. This is another way of saying, hey, you don't belong here. So wait, hold on. So what you're trying to say that there is no illegal activity going on in these places, that the only reason that the cops harass these massage parlors is just because of racism. Well, I have a feeling you are stretching on that one. You are reaching on that one. The Polaris Project, a nonprofit that combats human trafficking and slavery, said many of the women working in the massage parlors are vulnerable Chinese, Korean, and Thai immigrants performing illicit acts against their will. Tampa has the fourth highest number of such businesses in Florida after Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando, according to Polaris. Tampa has the fourth highest number of such businesses, behind Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando. I still don't understand how these Jack Shacks survive. I mean, it's one of those things where everybody knows, yet they continue to run. He said that he wanted, so residents who live near the parlors on Kennedy are sick of them and want them gone from their neighborhoods. Joe Manson, who created the Clean Up Kennedy protest group, showed up and recorded Wednesday's demonstration. He said he wanted to learn more about why people oppose the ordinance before Thursday's council meeting. Quote, "If they're against human trafficking, we're on the same team," he says. So they're going to be talking more about this later this afternoon, or actually this morning, starting at 9 o'clock. City Council meets at 9 a.m. this morning, if you are interested. And this public hearing on the ordinance is set for 10:30.
Yeah, look, I don't think they're ever going to decriminalize this. But they need, they need to make sure that at least this is a safe working environment for the women, the employees who are involved in this, and again, that you don't have illegal activity like human trafficking going on, and I think that's exactly what's happening.
I find it hard to believe they're like you're targeting these women who choose to be sex workers. Do you choose to be a sex worker, or do you kind of fall into it after years of whatever life threw at you? Does anybody grow up and they're like 8 going, man, I can't wait to hit puberty. I can't wait one day. I'm going to be a sex worker. Can't wait for that day.
I obviously think that it's a very small minority, but I would say that there's probably some out there that do, enjoy it.
There's a porn star that we had on the air quite a few times. Her name is... No,
not on this show.
No, not on this show. on one of my older shows.
Yeah.
Delia Strong.
Okay.
And talking to, because I've, we've had, women from the adult entertainment industry through many times over the years. And I asked her about it, and she said she knew at 15.
Huh.
She said she knew at 15 that this is what she wanted to do, but also I think she comes from a family. I think her mom was also in that industry as well. So that would be different. If your
the other problem now is that the internet has really grown that industry, and there is a lot of serious money behind it. You can become a quasi-celebrity, and so that makes it attractive, especially for women who probably come from impoverished families, low-income families, and are looking for that ticket out of that kind of life.
They get sucked into that world of webcams and live shows and whatnot. Do you ever, when you're tracking down your porn? Oh wait, no, you're a Republican, so you don't track. So you don't have any deviance.
No, not at all. What are you talking?
But let's say in an alternate universe, when you track down your porn, are you more of your traditional kind of stuff, or
Oh, boy.
or are you tracking down these live web shows?
I don't pay for anything. Let's just put it
All
that
right,
way.
let's leave it right there. You don't pay for anything. You might have to turn your computer in to get serviced every 6 months to get everything wiped off of it, but you don't pay for anything. All right, well, let's talk about just real quickly in local politics. Second report in 2 days has produced evidence that Senator Jack Latvala may have used his stature as one of the most powerful men in the state to grope women, make insensitive and shaming remarks about their bodies, and trade intimate physical contact for their legislative requests. Again, he is denying this stuff passionately. The 17-page report was written by Gail Goldman Holtzman, a Tampa lawyer hired by the Senate to do an independent investigation into anonymous allegations, echoed many of the findings of a special master's report presented to the state Senate on Tuesday. The Swanson report concluded that Latvala, a Clearwater Republican, may have violated public corruption laws and may have committed sexual assault or sexual harassment against multiple women when he allegedly sought physical contact or sexual intimacy in exchange for legislative favors. The report proved to be the second blow in the 1-2 punch that ended Latvala's political career, because less than an hour, this thing dropped. Less than an hour later, he came out and said, "That's it, I'm done." In a letter to no interest in continuing to serve with you. I guess for a lot of Republicans, though, I was listening to somebody yesterday. I guess Latvala as a legislator has been very popular over the years. Johnny?
Yeah, he's been incredibly popular. I mean, he's someone that is also, especially this day and age, it's been really interesting to watch, because he's been able to stay above a lot of the hyper partisanship. Which is incredibly rare. So he's seen as a bipartisan representative, despite that, he is a through and through Republican, but he's very liked. I mean, despite, like, people will tell you he's kind of like the kind of ornery, grumpy old guy, when you meet him, not the warmest guy you'll ever meet. But when it comes to serving his constituency, when it comes to representing his district, which is, again, very purple, as we say in politics, a good mix of Republicans and Democrats, he's served them very well, and he's incredibly popular.
I was listening to the commentator talk about how sad this is for, to see him dragged down like this.
Yeah.
But then you can hear the commentator, trying to kind of balance this, reconcile what's going on, because he goes, and it's also very sad to that, these victims had to go through, or, went through what they went through. Now, in this report, as well as, going back to this attorney, an expert in defending corporations whose employees are accused of sexual harassment claims, Holtzman did not take sworn testimony or develop a transcript as part of her report, and kept all names confidential except for Latvala's. Unlike the special master's report, Holtzman's report does not make recommendations. Now, but here's an important part. The fear of retaliation from Latvala and his supporters in Tallahassee's political volatile climate is a persistent theme in the report. The fear of retaliation is a persistent theme in the report, and the primary reason the names were left confidential, the report said. I understand that, but Johnny, I do have I'm torn here because I understand that part of it, but I also feel like if you're coming forward to accuse somebody of something, and especially something that's going to cost them their career like this, then you have to put it all on the table. But I also understand protecting the victims and da-da-da-da-da. But
the retaliations are going to be very real. I mean, again, as someone being involved as I am, having lots of friends in the process, I have female friends who work in a variety of capacities in politics, some within the government, some outside of the government. All of them are incredibly concerned over all of this wave of sexual harassment and abuse allegations coming out, because it's going to make their jobs a lot tougher, whether they're trying to be hired as a legislative assistant, a campaign manager, a lobbyist, no matter what type of role they're looking to have within the political machine. It's going to be incredibly difficult for them, being that it is A, so male dominated, and B, there's going to be an apprehension of from these guys to put themselves in situations that may again come back to bite them at some point in their career.
You're listening to or watching the Wake.Show this morning, unless, of course, you're only listening to the audio version on Mixlr. Thank you so much for doing so. Leave comments in the comment section. You can watch. If you don't like Facebook Live, somebody was telling me the other night that they don't like the functionality of it, and they are very happy that we are on YouTube Live right now. So YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Periscope, Twitter, and Mixlr for the audio version only. There's a story also in the Tampa Bay Times this morning, TampaBay.com, because we still don't know a motive. And this is frustrating me. This Seminole Heights killer, they've had for a while now. You think within the first couple of days, they're like, hey, man, why'd you do it? And he told them something. But we still don't know. The community breathed a sigh of relief when police announced that they had made an arrest in the seemingly random series of 4 shootings known as the Seminole Heights murders. But a month later, the evidence pointing to who is responsible still doesn't point to why, and those closest to the suspect are not talking. Son of a... His parents are even risking jail time by refusing to answer a subpoena that compels them to testify. In the absence of explanations, hundreds of people have turned to social media posts from the Donaldson family's past and created their own online forums to discuss them. About 1,100 Facebook users have joined the closed group Hal Donaldson Seminole Heights Serial Killer Tragedy, Tampa, Florida. And about 1,150 users belong to the Seminole Heights Serial Killers Theories group. Public records also help tell the story of Donaldson's life, and while nothing hints at capacity to inflict the terror he now stands accused of, it is a story of a family that has known crisis. The father's arrest during a violent period that nearly ended in divorce, a series of foreclosures and bankruptcy filings, and a complaint that went to court about death threats involving the daughter's ex-boyfriend. What's more, the record points to ties between the Donaldson family from town and country and 2 addresses way across town within the square mile area in southeast Seminole Heights, where all 4 victims were shot dead in October and early November. That path led to Trey Donaldson's arrest on November 28th. And it began in North Carolina, where his parents married, a young couple united by their Christian faith and a passion for charitable work. The family moved to Tampa, buying a red brick ranch house in 1995 in the town and country area, where they raised Trey and his older sister, Chamira. 2 years later, September of 97, Hal Donaldson Jr. was arrested at the home in connection with a domestic violence attack against his wife. He was booked into a jail on charges of battery and false imprisonment. So they're trying to piece together this story. They're trying to piece together some kind of a motive. But, you know, this is all well and good, but you're not going to get anything until these people start talking. About 2 weeks later, a judge granted Rosita Donaldson's petition for a 1-year restraining order against her husband. He was directed to complete counseling and lost custody of his children, then 4 and 8. The couple began the legal process to dissolve their marriage, though a divorce was never finalized. In 97, Rosita dropped the charges against her husband. Reconciled, the couple launched their own cosmetology school in November of 2002. They joined Without Walls International Church, the perfect church for people who are not, as it's billed itself, and soon assumed leadership roles at charity events and worship services. The church was among Tampa. So, you know, there's nothing pointing to why this guy would do something like this.
Well, and the craziest part is, and obviously, I mean, he has the right to his day in court, but he pretty much admit that, yes, it was his gun. Yes, obviously it matches what has been associated with the crime scene or the crimes committed. But he's still, pled not guilty.
And I think I think it's just a human thing, because I don't want to say I'm obsessed with this guy's motivation, but I have a longing for it. I need to know what this guy was, why he did what he did. Is this just somebody who snapped, for lack of a better term, or I don't know, or was he trying to get something accomplished, or is this somebody who snapped and just started killing people? Why, Fish? Why do you need to know that? What's it gonna? He's in jail. He's gonna stay in jail. I don't know. I just need to know. So Meryl Streep has been targeted by street artists with "She Knew" protests. I want to put this up on the screen so you guys can see the artwork behind this. But they're targeting her because she's one of the people that came out and defended Harvey Weinstein there in the very beginning. And allegedly, she's never seen, anything. There we go. So Meryl Streep is targeted by street artists with the "She Knew" posters. They appeared in several locations in Los Angeles, and where Meryl Streep was seemingly depicted as a Harvey Weinstein enabler by anonymous street artists. Posters hung in the early morning before the sun came up feature an image of Streep next to Weinstein with a red strip across her face with the text, "She Knew," an apparent reference to Weinstein's alleged sexual abuse of women over the course of decades. The posters are a riff on the work of artist Barbara Kruger, whose signature text in red banners has been adopted and copied for decades. The posters went up near her house in Pasadena, also near the SAG building in Wilshire, across the street from the 20th Century Fox studio lot in Century City. Fox is behind the drama The Post, which stars Streep alongside Tom Hanks, and opens on January 11th. The artists are referring to accusations, which Streep has denied, that she had knowledge of Weinstein's alleged predatory behavior and did not speak up about it. That claim has been promoted by actress Rose McGowan, who alleges she was raped herself by Weinstein. On Tuesday, Streep issued a response to McGowan. Quote, "I want to let her know I did not know about Weinstein's crimes." I'm sorry that I say his name different I think every time I go back and forth between Weinstein and Weinstein.
It's Weinstein.
Weinstein. Is there such thing as Steins? Is it spelled differently?
Steins, yes, but not
Weinsteins?
Not Weinsteins.
Okay. Not in the 1990s when he attacked her. Okay, let me start the quote over. "I want to let her know I did not know about Weinstein's crimes, not in the 90s when he attacked her, or through subsequent decades when he proceeded to attack others. I wasn't deliberately silent. I didn't know. I don't tacitly approve of rape. I didn't know," according to Meryl Streep. But that has not stopped these. They don't believe her. They don't believe her. And so there's another one there and another one there that they were able to slap up in the early morning hours.
And that's pretty harsh. I mean, because she is really, you could say she is Hollywood royalty.
Right.
And, and rightly so. I think that was the right target for this type of campaign. And for this to stop, you have to call everybody out that was involved in somehow hiding what was happening. Even if you knew about the culture and didn't speak out about it, even if you weren't witness to any particular incidents, I think the fact that she's almost claiming like she's never seen any of this go on, I think is incredibly naive.
And even if she never witnessed any of this, she, like others in Hollywood, heard the stories. It's something when you have these allegations being parodied, or you have people talking about it at the red carpet. Wasn't it Courtney Love who would joke just, I think like in 2007 or something like that, on a red carpet about not going back to Harvey Weinstein's, hotel room? Or was that, see now I think I might be mixing up jokes because I can't remember if that was her or if that was one of Seth MacFarlane's jokes.
Yeah.
when he was hosting, I can't remember, the Oscars or the Golden Globes or whatever it was, he was hosting a couple years ago. But then, speaking of Seth MacFarlane, he had a joke in one of his Family Guy episodes where Stewie, the baby in the episode, is running, all of a sudden, randomly, just comes running naked across the screen, yelling how he just help or something like that. I just got freed from Kevin Spacey's basement. So the rumors and the allegations concerning Kevin Spacey have been out there for a very long time. And the best that Hollywood has done so far is that satirists poke fun at alleged sexual assault.
Well, and that's the thing. Hollywood's a small town. Hollywood's an incredibly small town. When you talk about the Hollywood elite, it is a very small group of people. And so these jokes and these rumors and this undercurrent doesn't get around by chance. And so MacFarlane, as someone who maybe only second to Trey Parker and Matt Stone from South Park, couldn't give a rat's ass about who these people are. I think they rightly so are calling it out for what it is because they hear about this stuff in the industry as well.
All right, so you know the story that we had and stuff you should know about this anti-government guy, anti-Trump guy who penned this manifesto. He's now been he's going behind bars for 14 years.
Wow.
But we got to read some of his crazy. While he was in court, if you were listening to stuff you should know, he went back and forth with the judge, saying, "I don't give a damn about your rules. F your laws, F rules, and F you, judge." But this guy, Jakubowski, faced 20 years in federal prison after he was convicted in September of 2 weapons charges, which stemmed from an April 4th theft at Armageddon Supplies. Come on down to Armageddon Supplies. We have all your supplies for the Armageddon. Police said that when he torched his car, disappeared, setting off a frantic 10-day manhunt. All right, well, let's get to his 161-page manifesto. Allegedly made references to health insurance, taxes, and religion. Quote, "We the people should be out for these sick-minded people belonging to the system. We need to spill their blood." He also allegedly said, "I have never been a thief. I hate thieves. However, since this system has stolen my natural right to protect and defend life, this system has left me no choice but to commit crime to have the means to protect my life." Protect life. The Rock County Sheriff's said he also included threats against public officials and schools. Amid the manhunt for this guy, law enforcement officials ordered a stronger security detail for House Speaker Paul Ryan, who hails from the city of Janesville, where the manhunt took place, and his family. The gun store owner told the judge on Wednesday that he wanted the 14 firearms that are still missing to be returned, but Jakubowski said that won't happen. This guy said that he buried the weapons where nobody can find them. And one day when he gets out, he'll go back after those weapons. Oh, just another crazy man in America. So, all right. It is Thursday. You got trivia tonight? You want a little round of trivia questions, a little pop quiz?
Let's do it.
All right. Trivia every Tuesdays and Thursdays with this guy right here, me.
Yeah.
Tonight will be Masteries Blind Pass. We just started this a couple of weeks ago. Oh, we were packed Tuesday night.
Oh, yeah?
Out at Boulevard, standing room only. And now
Nice.
It was packed.
How many teams?
There was a full board of teams, probably 15, 16, 17, something like that.
And so how many, is there a limit to how many people you can have on a team?
Well, there is not. I let as many people, let's see, that was 12, 19. I'll show you real quickly. I'll pull them up. Pull it up right here. Because I don't know why. I don't know if it's an OCD thing. Because there's no reason for me to do so, but I save the score sheets every single week.
Oh, cool.
And so not only, you'll be able to also see some of the team names that are up there as well.
Hold on.
Okay,
there we go.
So there we go. There's, you see 1, 2, 3, there's like 15 teams up there. Argos, Holy Rollers, Sylvette Savants, Big Perm, which is one of my favorite team names. You get the reference, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's Friday.
Yep.
Right. All right. Sweet Baby Ray. There was a little one.
Barbecue sauce?
Well, no, little Reagan was her name, and she's got to be only a couple months old. Was part of one team there. Deb, she comes out and plays by herself. Now, great. This is Tuesday nights.
That's right. She's your genius.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's a mathematician or an ex-teacher, an ex-mathematician.
Yeah.
So she'll sit there, and I told you the story about the first time that she joined us.
Yes.
And
nobody wanted her on the team.
She said she came up to me first and said, "Hey, listen, I play trivia 3 nights a week. If I if I play here, this will be 4 nights a week for me. And I'm by myself if anybody wants me on their team. So I offered her up to everybody. Say, hey, listen, we got a Smarty Pants here. Does anybody want her on their team? Everybody passed. It was such a great TV moment because everybody passed on her, and then she beat everybody by herself that night, won the game. And then I think it was last week, I don't know why I get so excited. I really enjoy doing these trivia nights. And then last week, she was middle of the pack or at the bottom throughout the entire game. And then we get to the bonus round, and that's an opportunity where you can wager all your points or none of your points and stuff like that. And she ends up taking it down then. But so here you go. This is, let's see, know-it-alls, you can't touch a smile like a donut was a name. This is also a very, I like this. This is a very tame week as far as the team names go.
Names?
Team names, yeah. Some weeks I have to be like, I can't do that one. I can't say that one.
Yeah.
And then we have the one here at the bottom, the TUDMB Mellophones. They're a group of kids from Temple that are in town for the bowl game tonight.
Yeah.
They
are men's basketball?
No, the bowl game.
No, I know, but I'm saying MB. I'm saying, all right, so Tulane. No, what is it? Tulane?
Temple.
Oh, Temple University.
Marching band.
Oh, the marching band.
Right.
Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, and they were very cool, very nice, and they weren't 21.
You know, band nerds aren't cool. Come on now. I'm just kidding.
Did I say cool? I thought I did say cool. They were very nice. No, I'm just but they're playing FIU. They're playing FIU tonight.
Which was my semi-alma mater. So I went there for a couple semesters.
Oh, for a couple minutes?
I went there for about a heartbeat.
But it's funny because we give away free beers between each round when we do it on Tuesday nights out at Boulevard.
Oh, cool.
And so they end up winning one of the rounds, like one of the last ones. But I go, wait a second, are any of you even 21? They're like, yeah, well, I'm like, no, we're not playing that game. We're not playing that game around here. You think of like, oh, hey, how about you just hook us up? We're here on the beach. No, so you want me to put in jeopardy this entire business and everybody that works here.
Like, all right, Alonzo Ball.
Yeah, just so you can drink underage while you're in St. Pete Beach. But anyway, that was Tuesday night. So tonight we'll be out at Mastery's Blind Pass. So this won't be the questions for tonight, but here you go, Johnny. Right. It's progressive pointing, sir. Question number 1 worth 1 point. Question number 5 worth 5 points.
Okay.
True or false? The following sentence is grammatically correct.
All right.
Olivia and me had to go to detention.
False.
False. You are right. It is Olivia and I had to go to detention. All right, 1 point. Number 2. Eeyore and Kanga are from which Disney cartoon?
Eeyore and Kanga are from Winnie the Pooh.
Ding, ding, ding. 3 points. Question number 3. Spike Lee partnered up with Michael Jordan in the 90s to promote which popular sports brand in commercials?
The Nike, the Jordans.
Ding, 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 ding. 6 points. Number 4.
It was a revolutionary advertisement campaign.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, it's got to be the shoes. It's got to be the shoes.
Okay, I do remember it then. Number 4. Which planet is closest to the sun? Which planet is closest to the sun?
Neptune. I don't know. Neptune.
I'm remixing the Jeopardy theme song now. Mercury. Mercury.
Yeah. Yeah. Need to brush up on my astrology.
And number 5. Joseph Levitch is more commonly known as which slapstick actor?
Joseph Levitch?
Yes. He's better known as. I think he just passed away. I think he just passed away last year.
What?
Or earlier this year.
Joseph Levitch. Oh, it's definitely not who I thought it was.
Who'd you think it was?
I was gonna say Carrot Top, but he's not really an actor. He's a comedian.
No, this is old school. Old school.
Joseph Levitch, slapstick comedian. Gallagher?
No, older than that.
Older than that.
He was also part of a comedy team with Dean Martin. He hosted a telethon every year.
Red Skelton?
For like 40 years.
No, because that was Red Skelton. That was his name.
Joseph Levitch was better known as Jerry Lewis.
Oh.
There you go.
Man, I had no idea.
All right, so you missed 4 and 5. That's 6 points. You got 6 points out of a possible 15 there in that pop quiz. Let's sing another song before we get
I didn't know all this time Jerry Lewis had a different name.
Me neither. Do you want to do another Christmas song before we get out of here?
I think the girls are listening. So actually, yeah, let's throw down a song. But I'd like to get Slim and Gypsy up here, if that's okay, real quick.
Yeah.
To just show the final product here. And again, we're talking New Year's Eve looks. And Gypsy and Jen Bischoff are part of the Beauty Matrix team. It's a show in development here at Bake More Pies.
Let's see. What Christmas song do you want me to bring up? It's beginning to look a lot like. How about that one?
That or Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I saw Sinatra singing it on my Facebook feed last night.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Let's see. You got the Jackson Vine.
Now, Slim and Gypsy, unless you're ready to sing, just hang out by the door for a second, because we're about to throw down here some Christmas music.
All right. I tell you what, why don't we go ahead and do them real quickly, and then you and I will close out. By you and I mean you.
Yes.
We'll close out the the show with.
All right. Yeah.
Santa.
Come on in then. Come on in. Let's get over there by Fisher.
What about Frank Sinatra's "I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus"?
I'm not a big fan of that one.
All right, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. It is, but
right.
I've got the Jackson 5 version up.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys go ahead and just pop down here, and then he's going to adjust the camera to make sure you can just sit right there in her lap. We'll give you the microphone here. So you guys, you've been applying this makeup all morning long. Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. Great job, Slim, and nobody else knows your real name.
Yes.
And Shady.
Yeah. Yes.
No, Slim and Shady.
Very shady.
No, Gypsy. Slim and Gypsy. All right, well, tell us a little bit about what you did on her face here.
Okay, so we were going for a New Year's / Christmas holiday look. Sorry for all the hair stuck in the crystals. So we just went with a timeless red because that's the fashion trend this year that we kept seeing on the runways. And, of course, everyone loves Swarovski crystals and silver. So that's what we went for.
Is there any diamonds on her face?
Swarovski crystals.
All right. So you have clients that are going to be coming to you the day of, like New Year's Eve or the day before. So once you do something like this, I feel like you're screwed for a little while.
What do you mean I'm screwed for a little while?
Well, the person that has it on their face, they can't do a lot. So they have to kind of just sit there and wait for whatever party they're going to that night. And then how does this come off the next day? Or when you do something like this, you leave it on for a week?
I would. But no, you can get it off with Bioderma.
Okay.
It's a really great makeup remover. That's my choice. It just gets it all right off. Mm-hmm. But there's I would say about $50 worth of Swarovski on her face right now.
Oh, wow.
So we're not going to throw that away.
No.
We're going to let her keep that for her fingernails or something.
So how's it feel on your face? Does it feel like you're in like costume makeup or?
No, it's actually really light makeup. Honestly, like it feels like I can talk, I can do whatever I need to do. So it's not like, I'm just going to be sitting there like.
It's not restrictive at all.
Is it uncomfortable at all to the point like where you feel like you want to like scratch an itch?
Oh, no. No.
Not at all?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's first. I would ruin this within a matter of 10 minutes. Like, oh wait, damn it.
Yeah, you set it there and then you forget about it.
It's
like
drinks, you don't remember it's there.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so. And do you have a Instagram or? Well, I would imagine.
Well,
you
they
both
all do. Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and plug your Instagrams.
Mine is _real_Slim K, and hers is
Faces of Gypsy.
Faces of Gypsy. That's great. Faces of Gypsy.
And then we didn't give out Jen's Instagram earlier, but it's Jen Bischoff, and then you have two. But is Jen Bischoff the primary one, or you've got 10?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my gosh! You can jump into my shot if you want.
There you go. There you
Party
go.
over here.
That's right.
For the Beauty Matrix, it's the Beauty Matrix, and Jen Bischoff is just Jen Bischoff for my beauty work. Yeah. And then I have Underwater Jen, and I have The Whisper of a Dream, and so we won't go there.
Yeah.
Underwater Jen is another
Plenty
one.
of DMs to slide into.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming by the studios today and being a part of the show. It was cool to cut to you guys down there while you're doing your thing. And hey, we'll see you soon.
All right.
Okay. Unless you guys want to stick around and sing some karaoke with us. Sing it.
I got to adjust the cameras. Hang on.
All right, you go. You do that. I don't want to fire this bad boy off yet without you in a position here, because otherwise I'll have to start singing, and nobody wants that. Thank you once again for watching the Wake.Show today. and liking and sharing, participating, leaving comments as we continue to grow things around here. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah.
Well, we want to take requests too. We talk about this all the time. Is that we like doing this karaoke stuff, but part of the fun would be to get requests from you. So if there's a particular Christmas song that you like, we'll actually have Erica DeSegli hanging out with us tomorrow. No performance, so no need to alert chords.
She's going to swing by, just hang out for a little bit?
Yeah, she's going to come by, hang out with us, and then we, of course, have a very, very special treat for Friday. We're going to have a bonus third hour, so you're going to have to tune in on Friday to find what that's about.
All right. Here we go, sir. It's the Jackson 5 version. I couldn't find the... So we need to drop it an octave or 3?
I don't know. We'll see.
I can just do
Probably.
that right now. I just dropped it 2. -2. I don't know what that means, but I dropped it 2. Here we go.
Santa's
coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Oh,
Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.
He's
making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Oh, yeah.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Woo-hoo.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
We're going to turn this into the...
Sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Whoa! You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Woo-hoo.
Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Oh, God.
I'm sure everybody already tuned out.
Yeah, I feel like we're doing a half the boss version.
We just blew everybody's
Yes.
speakers, sound system, headphones.
Sorry about that, everybody.
It does have a little Springsteen feel to it.
I think we were trying to interject or inject some of Springsteen into that.
I just caught me completely off guard. I mean, again, mentally, I was prepared for Sinatra, not the Jackson 5.
So how would Sinatra do the song?
See, now all I'm hearing is the Jackson 5 version. You better watch out. You better not cry. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. I just saw the words and I can't even remember them.
Nailed it. Good job.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Nailed it. And that is the Wake.Show for today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 to 9. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter, Periscope, and Mixler. Have a great day. Be safe.